patch this was, but it's giving me some old school vibes of some years ago when you would have like 4 or 5 flex heroes at the end of the draft, and it was always this like mystery what was going to come out.
Yeah.
So let's try to summarize what has ended up happening here. A first pick Medusa for OG has been relegated to position 5. They're running carry Ursa, which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
Slardar offlane, mid Void Spirit, and a 4 bounty. So the Medusa is the odd one out there. Now for EG's side, we have a mid AM, offlane Veno with a 4 Caudal, which, you know, is somewhat normal, I suppose.
That's the most normal thing, maybe.
And Maiden Naga in the safe lane, depending on how they put their supports and whether they start tri-lanes, etc. But yeah, the 5 Dusa. Who would have thought that one of the, if not the hero that is regarded as the most powerful one in the patch right now would feel threatened enough to go to position 5? That is very interesting.
They did this ahead of time. Like this is, I mean, obviously it's a flex hero between 1 and 3 that we've seen, but they have to know it's going to get hard countered, or at least attempted to be hard countered. So maybe, I mean, Stormstormer was saying he's seen position 5 Medusa in his pubs. Have you? That does not sound super good, but if it's actually successful, then surely we'll see a nerf that can play any position. Matthew takes a blood grenade, getting run down right now. Whisper gets off the Gale to help save his life, and will do so successfully. Panda actually TP's in to try to take out Kitrak, but the Mystic Snake is there. Position 5 Medusa online, pops the Mango. Thus has a lot more HP, blood grenade on top of him. Finally, the Medusa will fall, and Taiga looks to be next on the list. So OG end up getting 2 kills, but first blood goes the way of OG.
Ah yes, the way we all expected this game to start with these heroes. Obviously, Venomancer doesn't get to look at the lane until minute 1. And, by the way, we have some funny lane swapping shenanigans. We're looking at top because that's where the kill action is, but C-Smile started in the safe lane on Anti-Mage, and OG started mid with Slardar. So it was Slardar against Naga mid. OG wanted to avoid that matchup, so they lane swapped. Panda is going to die here to 3 heroes, of course. So now the state of the game is Naga is now in the safe lane against Slardar, and we have a mid AM against Void Spirit matchup. I don't think I have ever seen this matchup, but I will say it sounds pretty good on paper for the Anti-Mage. And maybe OG want to swap again. Yep, BZM is going for a little bit of a stroll to the bottom lane.
Yep, and that's one of the advantages, being able to use these gates as well to go back and forth. Musical chairs, as it were. Still 3 members of OG in this top lane. We've seen the prowess of the Bounty Hunter time and time again this patch with the stun coming out from Shadow Walk. Something that they definitely have to keep track of. Kitrak, and I mean, I assume the Lotus Flowers will be very important for OG, as Kitrak could certainly use it. And
this tri-lane from EG is nasty, by the way. The Bounty Hunter is actually very important in this, but it looks like Taiga will perhaps make a little bit of a rotation. He was covering the Water Rune and takes that away, but yeah. It's a triple ranged lane top with infinite mana, because they have the Maiden Aura eventually, and they are going to have Chakra from the Caudal, so they can spam Gale, they can spam Blinding Light, they can spam Maiden's 2 spells, and all of that going into the Ursa will make him have a miserable time, and we're seeing that exactly now.
Blinding Light back. Yuragi's in so much trouble. This is going to be a very easy cleanup for EG. That's a big kill. And
Matthew
even though it seems like a small
opting
thing,
to go 1-1-0. I think this is the first time this tournament we've seen that on Caudal, so now they want a Chakra.
Wow.
Sure, they got the kill there. I actually think the Illuminate was not necessary. I think the Chakra would have been enough, and they could have just hit him until he died, but as a result, now the Caudal is a little bit starved. He could use this Healing Lotus if he wants to get some mana. How ironic would it be if Caudal used a Healing Lotus for mana? Well, I guess in this game, everything goes, right? Like, so far, nothing has made sense, so we got lane swapping happening again. C-Smile and MC have swapped lanes, I want to say 4 times now. And the interesting thing about this is that Anti-Mage is Blink, so he should be the faster hero to swap with.
They want to go for this. Blinding Light. Illuminate's coming as well. Yuragi's just going to die again.
Nice deny attempt.
That is rough stuff.
Kitrak's out of mana, actually.
Yeah, Kitrak, like you said, low on mana, but the Mystic Snake getting him to a respectable amount. Whisper will tick him away with the Poison Sting.
This is such a good Veno game, by the way. We didn't really get to talk about how good the heroes were because we spent all the time talking about how weird their lineups are. But I really love this last pick Veno from EG. I think it was the perfect pick. It's great against the Slardar, it's great against the Ursa, and it's great against the Bounty, and you're going to get one of those matchups in the side lanes, so you can kind of enforce Whisper to have a good start. And as long as the other lanes go fine, then that should be okay. However, the big winner in all of this seems to be BZM. I'm not sure how he's beaten them out by this much on the CS, with AM having 15 and Naga on the 13. BZM somehow has 23. Well, they've both been moving. BZM has been swapping lanes as well, but just, I guess the benefit of having an actual lane clear ability in the Resonant Pulse, he's just been able to shove out the wave and then reset position, whereas
it is an anti-mage mid. So.
Yeah, EG's heroes, both Naga and AM, need more time to clear the wave than he does, so that's probably the reason. He's just been shoving the wave out and then lane swapping.
Kitrack, he's about to run out of mana, which means he has very low HP. Get up a Mystic Snake, and again, back to a decent amount. C-Smile extremely low in that mid lane, has to be very careful. Of course, one thing we didn't mention, Yuragi died and he had to walk all the way back, and he's still only level 3 at 5 minutes as a position 1. You're already going to be suffering from XP when you're working with the tri-lane in general. They're just adding some insult to injury. We'll see if they try to make that up with a Wisdom Rune to come in a couple minutes. I mean, this would be a very good game to carry those off to your cores instead of the supports, potentially. Another Illuminate, hitting all 3, it looks like. And EG just continuing the pressure in this top lane.
They can just
spam
the
Frostbite
all day.
Another Blinding Light, Yuragi. He's going to try to go on top of Matthew, but another Illuminate's coming, that finishes him off. Matthew somehow lives throughout this engagement. Now Taiga's going to take the Gale. The right clicks with the Frostbite. He will be denied by Kitrack. A little silver lining there for OG, but for their position 1 Ursa, that is death number 3.
They can't win this lane. Like, this is just so like the lane for me inherently is just extremely unfair.
They could switch to Kitrack being the carry. It is Medusa after all.
Yeah,
why not at this point?
Ursa with the 23 CS. Good job, buddy. It's time to be support. Yeah, they've sent Yuragi mid. He's level 3 into the level 5 AM. I mean, the interesting thing about this is Ursa can probably just, you know, float this lane even with a level disadvantage. It's a good matchup against AM. You don't care about getting mana burn. You can just keep hitting back into him. And BZM is level 6, so he can make moves. I really like OG's approach to solving this problem, because if you keep these static lanes, Ursa's just going to keep getting killed. Like that lane. Maiden Coddle Veno. Absolutely disgusting lane.
Taiga and BZM both smoked up. Whisper looks to be the gank recipient. That's going to be an easy blow up for OG. So first rotation from BZM, and obviously providing a lot of space for Yuragi to finally get some farm on this. Ursa, Panda, take an astral step, but no more to come from BZM. And the Wisdom Rune's about to spawn. There's the stun from Taiga, so that's a freebie for him. And the other one is still left to its own devices. Nobody's even on the way, and there we go. We have a TP from the Bounty. BZM, he's going to take a Gale, though.
He's in big trouble.
Astral Step in 3 seconds. Does he have enough HP? Attempting to just TP out.
Nice call.
And he'll be fine. So despite all of this weird stuff that's been going on, OG have a 1K lead right now.
Yeah, they've just found more CS, and again, it's primarily the Void Spirit's Resonant Pulse into lane swapping, and despite having these deaths in lane, Yuragi still has been able to, float a pretty good CS. Like, he has 39. The Veno is on 24 from that tri-lane. Veno obviously not one of the best last hitters in the game exactly, but I did think this was going to look better with the amount of kills they had in the top lane. But OG, yeah, I think, I don't want to say everything is going according to plan, because I don't know what the plan is, but it's good enough.
No one does. Probably not even the players at this point, considering how often they changed lanes already.
Kitrack is very low top. He will get some mana here, but
he's going to walk it off.
He's actually pretty close to dying, because this Poison Sting is level 3.
115 HP, yeah.
He is going to run fully out of mana.
Mana Void, first of the game for C-Smile. Help get the kill onto Taiga. And yeah, no mana on Kitrack now. And, I mean, that's... There's no axe in the game, at least. That's the silver lining for them. Big Astro Summon to 2 heroes, but more to come as Matthew and company surrounding BZM. Another Astro Step is enough to take out Panda at the very least. BZM drained of all his mana. There's no mana void to come, though. Yuragi now coming to help save the day. I see Urshak off and C-Smile, no blink available. Double kill for BZM. Very aggressive, and it works out despite being 1v3 initially.
Yeah, he had a lot of 1 charges there, so he was able to 1 dissimulate and reset that no problem, and then chase them down. The classic Ursa coming out of the jungle to help kill AM in the river, minute 9.
After
See
being
it
mid
all
for
the
part of
time.
the game. Yeah, very normal. And I mean, his build looks like it will be normal. A Battle Fury will eventually kill. It would be very fitting if it was just something really weird. But we'll stick to more traditional route this time around. And from the AM's perspective, Mr. C Smile, I mean, in terms of net worth, he's behind Yuragi, despite being mid the entire game.
What do you buy on AM in this game is my big question. Like, you've got Vanguard. Are you going Diffusal? You're not going Battle Fury with a Naga. There's not going to be enough creeps on the map for both of you.
Right.
So, like, this is my probably biggest question mark about how this game plays out from here on out, because Pakaz will be very farm on the Naga, and he has some great core matchups. Naga is very good against Ursa, I would say, against the Slardar, so the win condition is pretty clear for EG. If Pakaz gets big and they start taking fights when the Naga has 2 or 3 core items, they can definitely win these fights, but how does AM bridge the gap? Like, what do you offer? Uh-oh, he blinked in, good blind
yeah,
though.
he blinked in for the rune, but it was spawned bottom. It is an invis. Yeah, that's a good question. We'll see what the itemization is after this this Vanguard for C Smile. I mean, it feels like, oh, all right, C Smile does get the invis, but they have the vision right now. Aether Remnant is there, locks him down, and another death for the mid anti-mage.
Nice bait. Taiga was just sitting in Shadow Walk on the rune, expecting AM to blink and take it, and they just pile on him. He doesn't have blink cooldown, obviously, and they had a sentry overlooking that rune spot as well. So despite him getting the rune, he was still retreating to the left, and they could see him. So.
But back to the itemization on AM, like if you go for the, like you said, Battle Fury, you just don't have enough farm for the 2 heroes. But if you go Diffusal, you're basically countering a position 5 Medusa. Is that worth it?
That's the problem.
And
Like
Radiance was the last patch. I don't know if you can. I mean, it doesn't look that good this game, even if you were able to get a decent timing.
I mean, is there some sort of route you can go here where you play like sort of utility and you get like Halberd? Because clearly the OG cores, right, as you mentioned, you don't want to counter the Medusa. That's not going to be enough. The Diffusal is kind of interesting if you're ahead in the fight and you can just quickly mana burn Ursa or the Slardar, but from OG's perspective, I think they're very happy playing into this AM right now. Their core matchups are good against him. So if I'm OG, I just need to strategize right now about how do we solve Naga. I think the AM is going to solve itself almost already with how this game has gone. So if Ursa keeps building, he's closing in on a Battle Fury. MC has Vanguard and 2/3 of a Blink Dagger. Smile will lay into Taiga here, but no vision.
Able to get away, has very little.
He really
mana,
wants
though.
that courier.
Get dusted because they know he wants the courier. Was it worth it? Maybe. I don't know. He is only level 5 right now.
It's gonna be a no from me, dog. That's not worth it. And
but it's satisfying.
he wasted a branch. And
you create space to get this mid tower.
Yep. So it was worth it.
Yes, exactly.
They might have got the tower without that.
So what kind of itemization do you need to go as an OG for against the Naga Siren? Because normally we would see, like in the past, maybe a Radiance or Mjolnir, something to that effect. Is MC's going to get rooted for the time being, but we'll just sprint away. He's still working on his blink.
So Ursa's going to go Fury, and he probably has to buy BKB this game because of the sheer amount of stupid slows and roots and everything the Radiant side has. So I think he probably goes Fury, BKB, and a dagger in some order, and then Basher. And maybe the Slardar could go for Mjolnir after the dagger. I think that's an interesting idea. It's a little bit concerning if they both go BKBs too early, because then I think they don't have enough to just fight the Naga head on minute 25 when she has her stuff. So maybe one of them has to not go BKB. But let's not forget the X factor of the Stone Gaze. It's 5 Medusa, but this spell is actually really good this game against the Naga.
So OG going for Roche. It's already at half health, but
they have an idea this is happening.
From EG that pops, so they have an idea now. Oh, they run into Taiga, so he's actually tanking the gank. So nicely done from him. Might even be saved here potentially, but no, he's going to be completely surrounded. Out of mana now. Mana Void is there as well.
Sprint's
MC getting slowed down. Yuragi showing himself. Wants to go on top of C Smile with that newly picked up Aegis. C Smile. Obviously a lot of members of EG here ready to fight, but the Stone Gaze from the support Medusa is enough to keep them at bay for the time being. Gonna get rooted now, but BZM coming from the back line, looking for the nice Astral Step onto several heroes with the Dissimulate to follow. Panda's done for, and now it looks like EG on the back foot. Whisper, gonna get approached now by BZM. Do they have the lockdown? MC not able to get close enough for a crush, but Whisper looks like he'll go down just from the right clicks alone. So OG, they get the Aegis, they get a couple kills. Now they have a 5K lead, and of course, Track is now online for Taiga.
And a crucial mistake from EG. They tried to kill Medusa. Don't try that. Don't try it at home, guys. Just do something else with your game. Do something else with your day. Especially when it's a 5, right? So the risk reward here is just stacked against you. And I understand that you're tempted to try to dive for this, but keep in mind the enemy team has the Aegis, they have positional advantage, and the Void Spirit, when you're stacking up, is just going to get extreme value out of all of his spells. BZM in that fight, I think, got a 3-hero Astral Step, 4 or 5-man Resonant Pulse, and then at that point he can actually just tank the enemy team as well, right? He's just getting so much barrier.
Matthew tracked up under the tower, doesn't matter. Whisper's here though, gets off the mech, gonna delay it. They do find the kill nonetheless. OG ready to be ultra aggressive here as EG. I mean, EG's a very aggressive team in nature. They're gonna get another initiation, this time on the C-Smile, blinks into the tower. Stone Gaze not gonna have too big of an effect. Now OG look to retreat.
The map is shrinking for them really fast. They're falling behind, and they're against Bounty Hunter. Oh, is there a Mana Void here? There actually is.
Yeah,
Chris could probably just one-shot Kitrack here. Oh, definitely. But he would expose himself to being counterplayed. Can't really go for it.
Kitrack very slow, despite having the drums online now. It's actually pretty farmed for 8th position.
Rocking a nice tier 1 token, our favorite neutral item. He's been having this for a while.
Has good passive effects for Medusa.
Yeah.
Basically showing that she's so overpowered, doesn't need a neutral item, essentially.
Yes.
That's right.
It's
I've been keeping an eye.
Style
Okay.
points.
C-Smile is going to Fusel. He was holding off for quite a while. I don't know if he could.
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
he went Orb of Corrosion
which
after Vanguard.
Yeah, I think he's not sure what he wants to go. It feels bad to go Diffusal, but what else can he possibly do? Freezing Field, set up by the Frostbite. Taiga looking to cancel it with a right click.
Pavis?
Pavis keeps him alive, but the Mana Void is enough. Now Yuragi turning his sights onto Panda, pops the Enrage. He has the Aegis. He's getting drained of all his mana though. Kitrak, no available. Beautiful crush from MC. Can he actually finish anybody off though? He's taking the brunt of the damage. They do eventually find C-Smile as MC falls to Pakaz. So a little bit of trade action, still the Aegis intact for OG. And now Yuragi with a Blink Dagger so he can follow up the initiation from MC in the future.
Great crush from MC, but they're chasing the Anti-Mage with Void Spirit. That's the hero you want to connect on that crush and get all that AoE damage in when you hit those 3 heroes. But yeah, they get the AM trade-off instead. In the end, might have actually been a bad crush, but it's very, very tempting to go on that. But they had different plans in the fight, and it turns out to be a pretty even trade. I think there was Track on none of the kills, right? Because he died first.
You know where C-Smile is.
Yeah.
Put a ward into their
But is
base
he
as
worth
well.
thinking? This game is all Pakaz if you're an EG fan. Like, this is the one hero that's going to save you. It's not going to be anyone else.
Yep, and he's had a very good game thus far.
All right, some mana burn onto BZM here.
BZM taking some damage from C-Smile. MC on the back line, ready to jump. Drums are activated by Kitrak. Initiation on the Whisper. He's going to pop the mech. C-Smile focusing all his efforts on the BZM. Gets the Mana Void, but it's not enough for a kill. The Ensnare keeping me at bay. The Stone Gaze, though, nice counter action.
He's dead.
BZM, he's stuck in the trees. Dissimulate. Looks like they're going to be spotted by the Plague Wards. And C-Smile jumps in. Another beautiful Resonant Pulse. BZM will finally get drained of his mana and his life. Because he was getting gone on, has to Song TP. So good engagement from EG, a 1 for 2.
That's a big kill. They get the Void Spirit down, and the kill bounty goes to Anti-Mage. So now he's close to his Diffusal.
You don't sound too excited.
Yeah, and with that core kills core mid 18, they have a mega kill streak. Damn, this is impactful.
I mean, if they can drain the Medusa's mana, regardless of her position, being position 5, that is, we have to say for the millionth time because I literally can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, the Mana Void will be considerable amount of damage, so it just depends on positioning at that point. Kitrak. Looks like he's going to be going for the Solar Crest.
So they'll have 2 Diffusals now. Anti-Mage will complete his, Naga has hers, and is working on Butterfly, which is insane this game. The Ursa as well as Slardar are fully physical single target damage reliant, and Naga gets a lot of EHP by buying this item. Already has the Manta to dispel Corrosive Haze. And it makes me wonder which path OG are going to go with their itemization, because this doesn't feel like a game that they can just, you know, overpower the Naga right now and take full map control. It was looking like that could be happening 5 minutes ago, but EG kind of weathered the storm, and they've effectively bridged the gap to get Naga where she needs to be at this point in time. Pakaz will probably go for, I would imagine, a heart after this butterfly, or maybe a Scotty, one or the other. Unless he wants to go for a very aggressive build and have a lower hit point pool, but I don't think that's worth it this game.
And
BZM has completed Deso. So they have
Echo Saber, Deso, we've been seeing that time and time again on the Void Spirits at this tournament. And he's going to be spotted. Pakaz looking for an ensnare, but a quick Astral Step from BZM and instant Pavis on him as well. Very quick reactions from OG. But Pakaz and company getting control of their triangle again. And from the Venomancer's perspective, you think this has had a big impact on the game at all?
Oh, nice rune snag. And snare.
Freezing field, illuminate to come. And that is a kill onto BZM. Nice setup from EG. They might be able to get the tier 1 tower on top of that.
That's that level 4 Frostbite against Void Spirit. He doesn't have a dispel of any kind. He's now starting to go for a Manta, but that's a big kill. They steal away the rune, they get the kill on Void, they get the mid tower. And they might even find Taiga here. Definitely pinging out his location. Blink Dust.
Yep.
He's dead.
Well, he's going to go for the TP out, forcing out the Mana Void. A nice pickup from OG, or from EG that is. And it is 20 minutes, so Tormentors are technically available. See how much each team prioritizes that. I mean, okay, answer me this. This is a really hard one. This goes really late. What lineup do you think is better? Considering Medusa's going for, I mean, obviously this is support, but it's going to be a support build. It's not like you're building her into a carry eventually, right?
I mean, how late are we talking?
Let's say tier 5 neutral territory, 60 minutes. I love these theoretical questions.
Yeah.
Break your brain. Too much processing power needed. Yep. That's what I thought.
See, sometimes for stuff like this, you could consult the win expectancy graph, but I think it isn't working because it's never seen this game before.
Yeah,
so it doesn't know what to expect. I mean,
Data is...
I'm not going to trust that percentage for anything. I feel like this game is, from my perspective, even right now. Like it's kind of, and keep this in mind too. The players don't really have the biggest frame of reference for this game either, and it makes for really interesting moments when you kind of you need to improvise, right? This is a, speaking of which, great play from Uragi. Going to be grabbing a shard for MC on the enemy side of the map.
Wow, that's a good shard.
So OG got both shards. That's pretty big. That's a major gold swing in their favor.
And EG, in the meantime, trying to take Roche, which is obviously a big steal from any Ursa lineup.
Going to be tanking that with an AM Pavis with Vanguard.
It's going to be a lot slower than the Ursa, but we can see that OG not really reacting to this.
They might be unaware that it's up even. And if OG do show up for this, Naga can song and try to make a good moment out of it for them. But OG will be too late. This is big that EG get this. It's Cheese. Guess they put the Aegis on Pakaz. Yep. Cheese on AM, a classic mid-game Cheese carrier.
Yep. Of course.
I guess it was the best hero to put it on. You could put it on Veno too, to be fair, but I think it's more likely that C-Smile will be the target. And if you're Veno and you get targeted here, as long as you get your barrier off, if you get off Crimson, if you get off your mech and a Gale, you could probably die after that. Would expect him to get a little bit of a mana pool here. Whisper rocking 540 mana. Not the most. His ult is pretty expensive. Has reduced the cost by 5% with the Fairies Trinket, but I think he can barely get all his stuff off if he's full mana.
Well, the Roche is definitely something EG needed because the net worth has been going in OG's favor for a little bit now. And I mean, it was stuck at 6K for quite a while, but a couple track kills help elevate the status of OG, and then those shards that adds net worth into the pool as well. As Uragi actually picks up a Diffusal Blade. He's going to be going for Is he actually going to finish the disperser right away? Because that's what he has queued up. That's interesting. Dispel action for the Gale, I suppose. Blinding Light, potentially.
Dispel Gale, Dispel Frostbite. Okay.
Initiated on for now. Yuragi's going to jump in, going on top of Pakaz again. Aegis is there. He's going to Song a little bit early.
They want to fight with us?
Maybe they can take out Taiga on the back line here.
Oh, they do.
They spot him, they dust him, but there's a jump in again from Yuragi. He blows up Matthew right off the bat. And Taiga still being pursued by Pakaz. They'll find that kill, so it's a 1-for-1 as MC jumps in, gets a crush, and bashing up Whisper right now. Yuragi versus Pakaz. Pakaz out of mana thanks to the Diffusal Blade as Whisper finally drops as MC's BKB is online. Mana Void destroys the support Medusa. 3 dead for OG. Pakaz and company focusing down MC now. That'll be a 4th kill going the way of EG. Now C-Smile pursuing Yuragi again. Trying to go to top, that's a lot of Fury Swipes. That is a done AM. Not able to live despite using the cheese before that.
He did not keep track of that counter. Like, Ursa has the level 10 talent for the Fury Swipes where he set time, and this fight was so long. Even Naga couldn't pursue. She was still 12 stacked from the earlier fight. We're going to see a replay here. So how many stacks are on C-Smile? Wait. It's just Corrosive Haze. I think he had no stacks on it. Is that for real?
Huh.
There's no indicator, right? He's literally just...
Okay, he just...
All right, it's just the haze, and he blinks in and just gets
No, he has 10
blasted.
stacks at the end.
Yeah, well, Yuragi hit him a couple times, so...
Yeah, that happens.
All right.
So I don't even know who that favors. Obviously...
Until AM died, that was amazing for EG. That's just a bit of a blunder there from C-Smile to dive for that. They do keep their Aegis intact on Pakaz, but he couldn't trade the Ursa off in the end. He was out of mana. He was 12 stacked on the Fury Swipes. He's not going to dive the tower. So, but yeah, this is...
Oh, the dust, but Yuragi jumps in and 3-shot Panda. Gracious. Another dust. They don't really stack, but Taiga will die. Takes 2 dust to take him out. He'll be okay with that trade.
Pakaz posing aggressively here, just running straight
MC
in.
being
Gets the
spotted.
Diffusal off.
Actually, Diffusal activated on MC, so he's very slow. The Inhibit, if you remember the name.
I do. How could I forget?
And yeah, Aegis, like you said, still there for a minute and a half. We'll see if they get full value out of this or not. And being able to kill Taiga relatively early in these fights can have huge impact because of that track gold. If he's able to get those tracks off, that's when the lead can really snowball in OG's favor.
Just noticed, I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but Matthew doesn't have boots. I feel like this is very rare on supports. Like there's a small subset of supports that can play without boots. That subset is called Io and Monkey King, usually.
Yeah.
But on the Caudle, he gets 25 move speed from the Solar Crest, and the hero is innately pretty fast. He also ended up finding a Bullwhip, but that's not what he was planning for at the time. But yeah, this is interesting to see. This hero
Really
being played
not
without
worth the
boots. It's an
500
interesting
gold.
take on the hero. Not very common, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if he does get jumped by MC or Yuragi, I guess he's just dead anyway. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's strange.
You could argue that boots could maybe get you in a better position.
Theoretically, yes. That is true. MC rocking the tier 3 token right now as well. Just chilling with that.
Yeah,
I think
pretty.
these teams actually talk to each other. It's not like a pub, right? They're just like, which item should I take? What's best for our team? Because since you can get duplicates, sometimes you don't want duplicates, maybe. I don't know. And he does choose the Dandelion Amulet, which is the magic block. Also gives him a little extra move speed and mana.
Gets a barrier if he takes over 75 magic damage, which would be the case from Illuminate, Crystal Nova, and Gale, I think, because it's level 4. So yeah, that Dandelion Amulet should proc pretty easily. I guess even a Riptide. Nah, Riptide isn't enough. I'm assuming the 75 damage is after reductions, not before. That actually matters for whether Riptide activates it or not, because it does 85 magical.
Yeah.
Well, C-Smile will be farming up some Ancients. He did go for the Halberd and is... With the Halberd as well as Elven Tunic, he actually got a lot tankier all of a sudden. Now 2 heroes on their side have good evasion. Yuragi will obviously adjust to this by buying MKB on Ursa, an item this hero doesn't particularly like to purchase, but in this game it's just a flat-out necessity if you want to be able to stand your ground against these heroes. We'll see if they can find the flank here. Taiga with a good smoke break here, potentially. Will break the AM out and the Naga, and will die.
Find him, but again, worth
Good play though.
Considering it was the entirety of EG smoking up, could have been a lot worse.
Needs to protect Uragi's farm here, so he has to break that smoke for them, and Uragi immediately says thank you very much. TP's top, gets the bounty and starts farming up here. And obviously, EG's lineup, not the fastest movers, except the anti-mage. Veno is a very slow hero at crossing the map. Naga is decent, obviously takes the gate here, which will help, but it's not like a squad of spirit heroes or whatever that could quickly transform, or transition rather, to top and kill the Ursa there, so he feels very safe just grabbing a little bit of extra farm here, and now things will stall out a bit again.
I'm a little surprised that C-Smile's been able to kind of keep up with the farm, considering he's an AM with no farm mechanic, like no itemization to help him farm at all, right?
The classic, I wonder what
killing these
AMs...
creeps one at a time is just so weird to see on an AM.
Sure, this is relatable for a lot of the viewers at home. It's like 130 CS minute, 29 anti-mage. That's like me. That's great.
Yeah.
This is what
I thought this would be a lot worse, though, if I'm being honest.
That's
Don't seem convinced.
Yeah, I just have to be honest. You enter this game, and I don't know what I expected. So I can't say whether this is better or worse.
Right.
It's just so much. It's one of those games that is just a treat to watch because there's like inherent mystery in the game almost. Like it's like both teams are trying to solve a puzzle and they've never really had to solve it before.
Oh, Kitrack
and the
gets
draft
an
is just step number one.
shard.
Yeah,
That's a
very
good
nice.
one.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, so he'll send out a snake every 12 seconds when targeted with a, I think it's single target spell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and the snake is single target too. It doesn't bounce.
Right, so makes him a little bit tankier, adds to his net worth. Maybe they don't want that, but that's the third Tormentor killed by OG.
Yep.
EG, I think theirs is still yet to spawn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Uragi killed it around, I think, minute 21. So the EG one should be coming up sometime soon.
And they only have one shard left, which would be BZM. So that'd be a freebie for him if they want to go for the
MC Smoke gets broken. He needs to get the hell out of here.
Blinks out.
Pakaz is so tanky in this game. The key for OG to killing this Naga is that they need to chain stun her, and they need Ursa to be uninterrupted, just hitting her start to finish. Which EG can't really do too much about. They don't have the best protection for the Naga from the supports. They have Blinding Light, but that's not going to work if Ursa's BKB'd. They don't have, let's say, like an E-Blade or a Wind Waker. But that could be something worth considering somewhere down the line, actually.
The smoke's going to break. MC knows that they're in the area to crush onto C-Smile, but he blinks away. And on top of the gate, several members of EG are just waiting. C-Smile focusing his efforts now. But looks like Whisper and C-Smile going to focus on BZM, who pops his BKB. Stone Gaze being used pretty early in the fight. As this fight is completely broken up, Panda is going to get taken out by BZM eventually, but Pakaz getting chased by MC and Uragi, and they get a very valuable kill. BZM will be the trade on the other side because of the segregation of this fight. Very awkward engagement overall. Uragi still wants to fight, but the halberd applied to him. There's the buyback onto the CM. Now, trying to take out Whisper, but he can't attack yet. Finally does, and that's when it starts to hurt. Double kill for Uragi. And they're going to buy back on the Venomancer as well, and Panda, this is going to be a dieback for him. TP's coming into the outpost, though. BKB popped by Uragi, so they forced that out at the very least.
The Naga buyback is huge.
MC,
OG are so happy if they get out of this.
Uses a Lotus Flower. Does not have a teleportation scroll, though.
They have no idea he's here. It's a nice little
We should
corner
mention
to sit.
Roche, he's definitely laughing that he does not. Yeah, be quiet, everybody. Be quiet. He's not here. Oh, maybe they'll know with the laughter. We'll see. Roche will be spawning in 20 seconds, so this could be a big pivotal moment in the game.
Loving the hush there. That's good. Yeah, so I think actually it's easy to say in hindsight, but I think a pretty critical mistake from Pakaz there, that when he uses Song of the Siren, I think he needs to run to his teammates.
And he's out of there.
So if you think back on how that fight played out, Pakaz gets off a Song, and his entire team was fighting Void Spirit on the right, and Pakaz ran left. So when the Song ended, all of OG could just pile on him, and he had no protection, and that's exactly what Ursa wants. Ursa and Solara just made quick work of him. Now Taiga.
Yeah, he pops
I get blocked off here.
He is dusted, though. C-Smile going to work. There's a Frostbite to keep him in place. Gale as well. Taiga looks to be all but dead, but the big crush coming in. Bandit was used. They're going to try to turn the sides on the C-Smile, but looks like he will survive. And Taiga did buy back in this. They do have a 13K lead right now, but This next Roche is very important, especially if it's killed on this side, because this is the Aghanim Scepter Roche.
And Pakaz needs this Aegis too, because he bought back before. So this is very, very big if they can get it. OG will probably do something about this. You would imagine they're expecting this to happen, but
they do have to fight into song. This is pretty hard.
Yeah, Pakaz could just sing when it's low for protection. Let's see if he will. Whisper's going to block it off.
MC. Whisper getting gone on. Pops the Ghost Scepter, but Pakaz does get the Aegis, they get the Axe, they get everything. OG, do they just want to back away? MC taking the gate. Yuragi might not have a choice in the matter. Pops the Enrage. Going to work on Pakaz, doing a lot of damage, actually. Remember, the song is down. Fight has gone to the top side now as Kitrak will be taken out by C-Smiles AM. And Taiga, this might be a dieback for him. A nice Aether Remnant from BZM, keeping C-Smiles in place, but will be pursuing Taiga nonetheless. This will be a dieback for the Bounty Hunter from OG. They lose 3 overall, and EG gets so much out of this, and they're not done yet. Yes, they are. That was an illusion.
That was a 13K gold lead cut down to 2. So they get 4,200 from the, or no, they get 6K rather, right? From the Roche synth, the Ag synth that they get there, and then find some additional kills. And they choose to put the Ag synth on the Anti-Mage. So now he has Blink Fragment. Just going to keep sending these fragments. I would imagine the Medusa, or try to cancel blinks from Ursa, or cancel blinks from Slardar. And just overall be a huge nuisance with this. I wonder if there was a better Ags in this game. Probably not, right? Like it seems like a very solid choice.
Yeah.
You could make a case for Naga to take it with the Ensnare, but
Coddles isn't too bad either, as the defense is being mounted by OG. They pop the fortification to somehow defend against the Aegis and Cheese with a newly picked up Aghanim Scepter on AM. Pakaz, rush from MC. You see his shard going to work. It puts that temporary amplified damage onto them. Pakaz at half HP, not too worried though, as they're not going to focus down on the building. So tier 3 tower falls in favor of EG. Now they're focusing on the barracks. Be careful with these blink fragments as well from C-Smile. There's the crush initiation. But OG backing away again. So the range racks fell. They'll be able to defend the melee as EG back away.
It's very awkward for OG to engage on these cores because Anti-Mage now has AC, so he's negating a lot of the Corrosive Haze, and he has the Cheese, and Naga has the Aegis. And in order to kill either of these heroes, I think it's impossible for the Dire lineup to kill either of them without the Ursa. He's all of their damage against these guys. Void Spirit is definitely falling off. He has this one burst with his Astral Step, and that's pretty much it. Slardar is going to be missing a huge amount of his attacks because both enemy heroes have about 35% evasion, and they're both so inherently tanky. So honestly, this looks really, really hard for OG to approach this upcoming fight with the mounting advantages. And Yuragi basically can't afford to make any single misstep in the fight, or he's just going to get slowed down and controlled. Good crush here from MC. We'll put some hazes on them.
But a lot of his mana nullifier applied as well. But Pakaz, he's taking heavy damage from the Fury swipes. They'll buy him some space. Still 2 minutes on that Aegis, but obviously does not want to waste it without at least getting a set of barracks. But he's going to get initiated on that. Is the Aegis down? Does OG have anything left in the tank? Kitrak out of mana completely. Another crush from MC, pops the BKB. The focus is all on Pakaz. A big mana boy comes out to take out the Medusa, but Pakaz is dead. 100 seconds with no buyback. Aether Remnant cancels out that freezing field. Double kill for Yuragi. And remember, these are track kills as well, so everything very valuable on the side of OG. Looks like the Kata will be taken out in OG's base. C-Smile on the run, being pursued by MC, but he should be able to get out.
Is he actually going to? He's
MC's
just waving at him in the river.
He wants that high five. He won't stop until he gets it.
This was
10K lead for OG. That's an 8K swing because of the track kills.
That was always going to be a hard defense, but OG just did it perfectly. They get the double crush, they follow up with the Ursa, and what OG recognizes, the way to do this is to go in 2 waves. They have to go on the Naga first, get Fury Swipe stacks up, and then re-go whenever possible and make use of those previous stacks. And they didn't really get to force as much out of Yuragi as I would have expected on the Aegis, so on the second life he can pop absolutely everything, and you have these 3 BKBs running against the Song, so they can't keep Pakaz alive. Really, really well done by OG there. In a tough situation, they make basically all the perfect calls to stabilize that fight.
I assume that's MC. Okay, no, that's from earlier. Nice try, production. MC does smile a lot during the game, though, so good to see him back. Well, I guess he never left technically, but you know what I mean. Kitrak, look at how much mana is taken from him just from one fragment.
Yeah.
That is so annoying to deal with. But OG able to get a tier 2 tower now. Obviously, the Roche will not be back for quite a while. So the question is, what can OG take with this last fight? I mean, they get a lot of neutrals. They expand the lead from 8 to 12K just during that time. That's one thing we never really mention is when you win these fights late game and you have to wait for these timers, you're going to be able to farm a hell of a lot more than EG.
Yep. Yuragi's going to go and take, I would imagine, a fourth.
Yeah. That is a shard for BZM. So the full shard completion from OG. And that one's kind of weird, actually, the Void Spirit one. The 8th Remnant. The watch range only pulls heroes, so that's good in a crowd. Does that work on illusions, though? That's my question.
I just had the weirdest brain fart of my entire life. I just called a Tormentor an inhibitor because we talked about inhibit earlier on Diffusal.
They could have done that.
That's amazing. Okay. Well, what do you know? He didn't inhibit it, and by the way, it's not called inhibit anymore. It's called suppress now because he has the upgraded one.
Oh, yeah.
Then it gets a new name. So, what do you know?
Okay. He's suppressing the...
MC said in the interview they wanted to suppress them, so they've itemized for it.
Yeah, we might see 2 in this game for the first time ever. That is not a super popular item.
Smoke coming out from OG. 5-man looking for a big rotation here. Obviously, the next Roche is probably the game decider at this point. We're 40 minutes in, and we've seen how volatile the lineups are getting at this point. So if OG, the goal is, we've seen the recipe for success here. It is poke the Naga with the Ursa, reset, go again while Fury Swipe stacks are running.
Right.
And the question is if EG can itemize to try to protect the Naga a bit better. All right,
gonna crush on Matthew to start this out. Ghost Scepter's there. It looks like MC has to pop his BKB, but the ensnare still goes through, attempting to TP out. Mana Void does not go through that anymore. Good attempt.
Close call.
It's Yuragi able to get out as well, so no kills for EG. And I don't think Yuragi was level 25 in that last fight, if I'm not mistaken, but he now has the 3 overpower attacks, so we'll see if he even needs to reset before just taking out the Naga. If you're able to get the double overpower, as it were, with the cooldown ready to go.
If he gets a volley of 18 attacks through, he's in a very, very good spot for sure. And again, the question is, what do you itemize? I think maybe, what are the solutions? You can't, I mean, his oh, hang on, Taiga almost died. Is this just going to be a classic? Almost dying there to the Tormentor.
So they killed it and got gold, right? And also denies it from EG, who
have shown a lot of interest in them so far.
Yeah, they have not given a shit. That's for sure. They got one, right? Or
did they?
Or were they all stolen?
Maybe they got one. I don't know if they even got one.
That's another thing. We just need the UI. Yeah, let's just scroll through the entire game.
I don't think they got one.
Looks like all the shards were OGs.
Yeah.
And the question is, were there any shards that EG could have gotten that would be a big difference maker here? We've obviously seen the recall, but
I guess the best solution they have for their Naga is honestly 4 staffs, but they only have one on the CM. I think, yep, they're buying one on Veno, so they're making the same judgment call here that. But even then, he's just going to be. He's going to be Dispersored, right? That's called Suppressed,
Dispersored,
as we've established.
Not going to remember that. Track coming out. They tried to get a blind dust on the Taiga, knowing that that would make a huge difference, taking him out of the fight before it starts, as Roche is available.
Can you... Is there some sort of logic here that you feel like the Ursa can't have both Nullifier and Disperser, so the 4-staff is actually going to be valuable because he can't make space for it in his build? Like... I guess the Nullifier is on the Void Spirit, but he can't always connect with the Ursa on the plane necessarily if they do a good job with AM, for example, at boxing out BZM in the start of the fight. Maybe that's the logic here, is that it's the best item we have to reposition and protect our Naga. We can't really do it with much else.
Big fight coming. Again, EG occupying the gate area for that high ground defense, potentially for this Roche. Panda initiate on, gets the Ghost Scepter off, though. Immediate stun onto MC, but Panda's getting gone on by BZM, blown up right off the bat. Yuragi pops his BKB along with the Enrage and trying to reset things, and Stone Gaze keeping them in place, but there's the song. Pakaz could have attacked BZM, now gonna try to turn this around. Mana Void is there, but another Enrage comes out. Yuragi staying alive, now focusing down C-Smile, he's dead. 2 for 1, BZM lost his life as Pakaz. He's getting quite low, gets bashed. Can they actually finish him off though? It's gonna be close, yes! He has to buy back into the game. They can TP to this outpost as well as Yuragi, extremely low in HP. See Smile, he just bought back. You cannot fight here. They finally take out the bear. Kitrak will fall as well as OG members starting to fall like flies. 3 dead, 2 buybacks on 2 cores for OG. We'll see if they buy back anymore. The only one that cannot buy back is Kitrak on the Medusa. And this is another potential Roche. And again, this is the Aghanim Scepter Roche. So more net worth, one of the pockets of EG, as it looks like OG will just chill.
And the huge difference maker here is just the inherent advantage that Radiant has in this spot by being able to buy back TP, right? It makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
OG were crushing this fight, but they just lose to buybacks. And they will lose Roche. This will be an Ags on the Naga, so now has the incredible reel in addition to being able to ensnare spell immune or sleeping units.
Terrific.
Which makes for some interesting potential outplays against the BKBs. He'll also be, as it looks, completing a heart. He's big.
Yeah, he is.
I thought OG were actually going to win the game there, but just the sheer number of buybacks on the Radiant side did make the big difference there for EG.
Yeah, I think
now
all but one Roche, I want to say, have been on the Radiant side so far.
I think, yeah, you're right. The first one went to OG, but EG have managed to get the other ones, and now they're going to be knocking on the front door again. And it feels like this time it's going to be harder for OG than the previous time. Naga got a lot tankier since the previous high ground push, and I don't know if OG's damage has scaled to match, really. Maybe it has. We'll see soon enough, because I don't think EG are going to give up this map position at any point here. They're going to keep constricting this area.
Yeah, we only have 4 buybacks in the game, 3 of which are on OG's side, but of course Aegis and Cheese are with EG.
Abyssal Blade flying out now for C-Smile. It's also a huge pickup. It doesn't have the Manta, but he has the Blink fragments, so he can pretend he has a Manta. He can throw in a couple of fragments, and if the enemy hero doesn't move, he can Blink Abyssal.
And then second Disperser has been completed, this one for Oz. I've personally never seen 2 in the same game.
Same. I see Ragi getting some harassment here. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey, double crush. A beautiful Astral set from BZM with that newly picked up Daedalus. The Venomancer is donezo. Cannot buy back in the game, so it's a 5v4, but the Aegis advantage still on the side of EG as Taiga getting gone on inside this Will-O-Wisp. Looks like he will fall eventually.
Yuragi's out of
setting
mana.
up 2 more potential kills here for EG. Do they have the setup? There's the jump in. Yuragi gets off the enrage because gonna get the nullifier off on Yuragi. Gonna attempt to get away as Taiga not able to go invis to get his stun off in the meantime. Double buyback now from OG as MC taking so much damage. Looks like he is eventually gonna get dropped as well, but does have buyback. And on the doorstep as C-Smile pops the cheese to stay alive. Yuragi forced the BKB and retreat.
Holy shit, that hurts. It's so hard.
We have 1 buyback available in this game right now.
Oh, wow. Crazy fight, but yeah, 3 buybacks from OG. You should be very happy with this one if you're EG, if you can just calm things down. I think... Did Pakaz? I think he tried to ensnare the Ursa after the song ended, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because he had Lincolns on him. But the crucial save there is something you've wanted to see all tournament. Guess what that was? Taiga shadow walked the Ursa with his shard.
Hell yeah.
Actually, a bounty hunter using it on
My
teammate.
boy.
And they did not have detection on the Naga to stay on Yuragi, so Taiga really saving the day there for his carry. If Yuragi would have died, this would have been terrible. I think he wouldn't have had buyback. Obviously, he doesn't. He has cooldown on it. That could have ended the game, but 1 Shadow Walk cast
That's hype.
can make all the difference. Pakaz still with the Aegis, though, so if EG do fancy their chances, they could look for another fight. Did expend the cheese on AM, so will not have that this time around. And you saw he basically got 5-shot by the Ursa. Very quick reaction on the cheese there to make it out.
And that's the scary thing. Even with the cheese, you still have to blink away because the Fury swipes are still going to be on you, and they last a very long time.
How long is it, actually? 40 seconds.
Yeah.
40 seconds. Yeah, sure, it's fine.
From OG's side, it's all about going in and out and just... You don't want to blow everything right away. And on the side of EG, the Aegis is about to expire in less than a minute, so they're going to try to take a fight.
If this fight breaks out very, very soon, this Aegis can come in handy, but Taiga doing Taiga's job.
Yep. They
No
blink
killing for
fragment
it.
him though. Inhibit to follow. Nullifier now. They have the ensnare as well. And it looks like he's going to drop in.
He doesn't have buyback.
No buyback. So
90 seconds
just like that, 5v4 EG advantage. 6 if you want to count the Aegis, but like we said, that will expire shortly.
And I was going to say easily the most expendable hero or the
They
Dire.
actually want to fight MC with the initiation onto C-Smile, forced step to the high ground, but there's the song to counteract it. They're going to try to focus him down while the BKB is up. It finally ends. Freezing Field on top of them. MC is dead as well.
If he
2
bashes
down
here,
for OG. BZM able to TP out, but still, it's a 3v5 defense now, as EG are going to be knocking on the door. They still technically don't have a full set of racks yet, but they will get more than one at the very least, as Kitrak has to deal with these annoying illusions.
I mean, this
Mid
has to
lane
be
is the way
Megas,
of
right?
EG.
You can't fight without Corrosive Haze. It's such a big part of your strategy for OG. Can you possibly do this? Pakaz.
He wants to get those stacks up. This is about going in and out. Nullifier applied, actually gets reflected, it looks like, thanks to that Lotus. This will be a second racks for EG. They just need to try and defend, but 60 seconds without mind control. This will be a tall task. In fact, they might just have to fight once that bounty comes up.
Well, the top tier 2 tower is still standing, so there's a bit more time, but it should still be a flat-out 5v4. This Radiant lineup could take the rest of the base before the Slaughter respawns, so see if they can come up with any sort of defense here. Maybe EG are a little bit hesitant, actually. I mean, obviously, getting the Mega Creeps here is great, but it's the buyback status that's the most dangerous in this game. Naga doesn't have enough gold.
Yeah.
So maybe you just don't take the risk, farm the map, make sure you have your buybacks before you go for the killing blow. Maybe you could get another Roche as well in a few minutes. This could come back to bite them if they go high. I actually really like the call to not do it at this point.
Yeah,
make sure you
some
have the
discipline.
advantages you need.
Definitely showing some discipline, which South America notoriously in the past have not shown, but we've seen in the last few years they have upped the ante, as it were. And
Many a game have been lost on high ground overconfidence with 2 lanes down.
we literally cast a couple of them in this tournament, so.
Yep.
But the question is delaying it opening up the door for OG potentially as well, because maybe they could go for the Roche when that's eventually up in the next minute.
You probably feel pretty good about forcing a Roche fight if that's going to be the end of the game, just because you have Naga. And especially if it happens in the next few minutes, so it's daytime. It's so important for the game, whether the Roche spawns at day and night, or night, because of the teleport advantage you have as Radiant bottom half, right?
Yeah.
OG on the flip side would love for this Roche to wait until minute 55 so that they can buy back and TP to top to take the fights there.
So for it to be spawning in the top side of the map, it needs to be a max duration timer for Roche, which would be 3 minutes.
And the earliest one is in 30 seconds, so if EG have even average luck on top of Chris luck, then they can get it before OG can get that advantage. But I don't know if they'll have... Okay, so Naga has buyback available, but not enough gold. Pakaz needs another 200. Buyback status is everything right now.
All right, I believe EG will get their first Tormentor of the game. Keeper gets it, so
52
recall.
minutes.
Yeah.
They have recall. Look at that.
Very nice. Could have been useful 30 minutes ago, but hey, just to say.
It's also useful now.
All right, Roche timer, 1.5 minutes. So that's going to be basically another minute and a half on top of that, while Roche will be in the Radiant side on the bottom of the map.
If EG keeps scouting this pit and they're in formation and ready, they can absolutely force this fight on their terms. With Naga buyback available, so which buybacks do they not have? Only CM, but she's getting the gold now. So EG with a full lineup of buybacks, OG have 3 of them unavailable for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So the timing is actually perfect, but keep in mind the teams don't have access to this information, and there's absolutely, I would say there's no way they know these exact breakdowns of how these things are happening.
Yeah.
So it is going to be a lot on playing on gut feel. And OG know how important this is. They're already starting to corral to the bottom area and starting to get some sort of control here. Taiga will show on Ob's Sentry combo, and looks like C-Smile is fancying a move here. I think this is a bit dangerous to TP in there.
Yeah, BZM
will get out.
Opening. Not going to find it initially. Aether Remnant does connect on the Venom, but he's going to get Frostbit. Mana's being burned. More illusions being spawned. He's going to dissimulate away. Will-O-Wisp was popped from EG's side.
Yeah, he'll get that again soon with some chakras, though, so not the end of the world for him.
At 20 seconds on Roche. And, I mean, the other opportunity for OG is to just defend this area, this high ground, at all costs for a minute. without killing Roche, because that would be too hard.
It's so hard to zone control against Veno, though.
Yeah, and Naga as well.
Good
Pakaz
jump.
getting initiated on a nice jump. C-Smile getting really low. They burst him down. Will buyback and has the outpost control as well. They're going to take out the Naga as well. Again, buyback coming through for EGs. They are getting completely wiped. What in God's green earth is happening right now? They will mass TP onto this outpost. Now the pressure is on. OG, they're going to lose their Medusa to start this out. The second version of the fight is MC getting extremely low as well. He will fall in addition. The buyback came onto the Ursa as OG need to get the hell out of here. Roche is now available. Looks like Taiga will dodge it all and be able to live.
All it takes is just a small moment of opportunity there for OG. The two enemy cores stacking on top of each other at the gate. The Naga and AM stood just held hands, and that's just not, that is not advisable in that moment. Again, EG with the buybacks will save this, but now that they've used them, all of them more or less, that was all 5. They've used all their 5 buybacks, so now sure, you might get an Aegis and a Cheese, but can you actually still high ground with confidence?
Yeah.
I don't know. OG only used the Ursa one. They're going to have a couple more to give on the defense.
It is the Venom.
This whole situation from EG can be completely averted if those 2 cores don't stack, I think. But it just gives OG such a perfect moment of opportunity to just pile on them and burst them down. And this is...
All right.
This would usually mark the end of the game with these items. 2 racks down.
Oh, no.
Aegis Cheese, but
no.
I don't know.
The buybacks are on the side of OG now.
Exactly.
And EG will be in their base, presumably.
And Slardar's close to buyback too. He just needs 500 gold. So if they can somehow find that for him on the map, either by letting him farming some waves coming into base, or if they can get a couple bounty runes or whatever it is it's going to take.
Yuragi, level 28 now.
Incorrect. He's not
29 now. I mean, if he gets that 30 talent, we were talking about this with Faith Beyond.
This is a really good talent.
Rage provides half benefits to allies in 700 radius is pretty freaking powerful if used correctly.
And
obviously, it doesn't have the exact build for it.
And it says Enrage, but it should also work with this shard on Earthshock, right? Because then you also cast something called Enrage. So
Correct.
Effectively, there is a build on Ursa where you go Octarine Core and abuse this mechanic. I don't think that's happening in this game at any point. This late end, but okay.
For the opening,
Smile.
and Taiga's going to be spotted though.
Yes, buyback.
He does. That's a freebie for EG. So the attempted backstab from OG not successful this time.
Fishing for info. Smile. Sending in an illusion on Kiatrak.
These illusions just get decimated by BZM, but there's more where that came from. And even against Megas, I feel like OG can still technically defend, but we'll see how much they're going to put into this defense. More fragments coming. Very annoying to deal with. As Pakaz poking the range racks ever so slowly. There's the buyback on the Taiga. Yuragi and MC trying to initiate. They pop the BKBs and the Enrage. The Veno's dead without buyback. C-Smile now focusing on Yuragi, but he gets the Lotus Orb applied to him. Will-O-Wisp is going to be destroyed pretty swiftly. Yuragi completely out of mana, though. Do they have the backup? They force staff him to safety. He's A-okay. Now the focus on the Bounty Hunter. This will be a buyback for Taiga. Dieback, that is. Indeed, he goes down, so it's a 4v4. Aegis still intact for EG. Still poking that range racks, which will not regenerate.
Yeah, he's going to take this one down. Medusa cannot defend this on her own. But the melee is going to be hard to claim, and you have to respect the burst potential that these Dire Heroes have. But keep in mind, BKBs were expended from Slardar and Ursa, which gives Naga total power play with Song of the Siren here. Song of the Siren into Will-O-Wisp could actually be a viable combo in this situation.
Wants to initiate, gets the crush only on one though. Now he's going to get in snare, but there's Lotus. Yuragi jumps in, focusing all his efforts onto Pakaz, who's already at half HP. He has to go away now. Has to be careful because of that Will-O-Wisp.
Hex on
BZM getting controlled! Man avoided down, does have buyback though. Will certainly expend it if EG go any further.
Keep in mind, Pakaz is Aegis, so I don't know if this play even exists to begin with from OG. I don't think you're killing this Naga twice like this. Well, they're going to try.
Well, the Fury Swipes will persist. Something obviously to keep in mind. There's the buyback from BZM.
It's time to chill for Pakaz for 40 seconds now. Let those Fury Swipes run out. Taking an extra 735 damage per hit right now. It's a lot.
Ooh. And we are approaching the coveted 60-minute time, which you know is my favorite time of the game.
Yep.
I make
Game will end
sure all
in a
my
minute
pubs
and
go 60
25, Shannon.
What's that?
Unfortunately for you, the game will end in a minute 25, so you can dream all you want.
Yeah, it might. It might.
I think there's a very good chance it doesn't. These items will probably be coming out. Pakaz Aegis 1 minute left. EG will not push high ground without this. I just refuse to believe they're going to do that and take that risk. So it's either now or you're going to wait, get those tier 5s, try to get the Roche. But okay, maybe they will actually go.
Only two buybacks exist right now on OG's side.
55 seconds.
And Kit Rack to support Medusa. Melee Rack's at half HP. Just got to kill these illusions.
They got the hex on Yuragi.
Wall of illusions! Ursa! Yuragi will live thanks to the Enrage. Will-O-Wisp being very annoying right now. BZM pops the BKB. He's going to get bashed inside of that. Will dissimulate to safety. MC already popped his BKB now, so they're running out of items. BZM pops his refresher in the meantime, though. As Illuminate coming in, he's getting controlled again. He's going to die!
No buyback.
Essentially a dieback for BZM, as this will be mega creeps for EG. Will the game end now? 5v4. Still with Aegis, but only for 20 more seconds. Pakaz going in very deep. C-Smile. Taiga's dead. Dieback for him. Poison Nova goes off thanks to Whisper's Ags. The jump in now from Yuragi, but he's going to get sheep. A huge mana void. Holy Jesus, GG's called. EG, we're not going to make it to 60 minutes. I jinxed it.
I was 5.